All right, so it is being reported that Towanda Braxton, who is Toni Braxton's sister and star of the show Braxton Family Values, is being accused pretty much of fraud by her former landlord because she filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy to be more exact. And according to the court documents, which Radar Online, they obtained them, Towanda Braxton's ex-landlord, Michael Wagner, is demanding that the court find her in contempt. And they want the money, well, I would say he wants the money that she owes him to not be wiped out in her bankruptcy filing, and that he gets paid the money that she owes to him, because he's basically saying that she's fraud, and it's just not cool because she was supposed to do some things that she hasn't done yet, and he believes that she is lying about and hiding her assets. So in this situation, she's being sued for $76,000 in back rent and damages to the property that she was renting from this guy. And so he filed a lawsuit, a part of the bankruptcy, because he's saying that no, she shouldn't get to walk away scot-free or even paying less than what she owes me. She needs to pay all of it and then some, because she's a liar. That's what he's alleging. So I'm not saying that. That's basically what he is saying. So in court, he demanded that this debt, it should not be wiped clean. And so she was supposed to submit some financial disclosures. And he is claiming, playing around when it came to sitting down for a deposition. And a deposition is similar to being in court, where you have a court reporter that is there. Everything is being recorded by sometimes videotape, but definitely by audio, and it is typed up, so it is recorded in the court docket what the opposing counsel is asking of the person who is supposed to be sitting down for the deposition. So he's saying that in the deposition she was asked some things, and she just kept saying she doesn't recall this, she doesn't recall that. So he's claiming that she is evading answers, and that she also was ordered to pay him $3,800 in reimbursement for the attorney's fees that he had to pay out, but she's only paid him $100. And I mean, I'm not laughing at it, but it's just crazy that the things that some of these people, I don't even want to call her really a celebrity. She's, I guess, you know, she would be a reality star, but it's amazing what some people can get away with that just your everyday average person would not be able to get by with, and this has been dragging out for some time. So she is saying that in terms of what she owns, she only has about $277,650 in assets, but her liabilities far outweigh her assets, which her liabilities are over $500,000. And honestly, that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon for a lot of people. I'm not saying that anybody wants to be underwater, but that's not, in the grand scheme of things, a big deal, especially if you are including if she owns a large home. The thing about owning a home is that pretty much everyone is paying rent until you have a deed. So whether you have a landlord or you're paying a mortgage to a bank, you don't technically own the home until it is paid for. So out of the $277,000 in assets that she's claiming, the over $500,000 in liabilities, it does include her home mortgage. So that's not a crazy thing when you hear, oh my God, she owes over $500,000 in liabilities and debt. That's really not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. But she also is claiming that her monthly income was only about $4,600, but in terms of all of her expenses, it says she is claiming that she's spending about $6,000 a month on expenses. So bankruptcy protection is not something that means that somebody is absolutely broke. And in all honesty, a lot of business people use bankruptcy for a way to just get a fresh start, wipe the slate clean, or restructure debts so that they can get get in a better place, instead of spending more than half of their income on debts. And so that's not uncommon. And to be honest with you, I never fault anybody who files for bankruptcy. It's just how people do it and how often they're doing it. You got the people like the former president who filed for bankruptcy several times, but he got treatment that a lot of people would never get because he was doing these things and still getting money from banks. And you and I, that would never happen for any of us. But I digress. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I just wanted to say that with this situation, it's a little bit sticky because she's also claiming that she owes her sister Towanda Braxton about $35,000 that she loaned to her. So that's also included in her debts. And she's also saying that she only has about $1,500 in household goods and another $1,000 in clothing. I don't really know about that. I think that is on the short side. I feel like she's downplaying it a bit. So, the landlord, he may have something there when it comes to fraudulent activities. I don't know. I don't know what she owns. I don't know what she has in her house. And hey, maybe that might be true because there are a lot of people who have these large homes, especially down in the Georgia area, and they don't have much furniture in the place. They don't really have it furnished. Whereas you have people like Sheree Whitfield, formerly from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who built this huge mansion that she called Chateau Sheree. And then she had this thing decked out. And I still have no idea how she furnished it. I don't even know how she continued to build it and get it all done. But of course, it's none of my business. Unless it gets revealed, then we will possibly talk about that on another episode. But what do you guys think? Do you think that she's being fraudulent in this bankruptcy filing and that the landlord should get all of his coins that he is demanding right now? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out about that. All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question now to start out with it. Because Dr. Dre is a billionaire, does he owe his adult children to take care of them? Now, I don't know the full story, so I'm only going to just share what is being reported, and then you let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section. Well, Dr. Dre has a daughter. Her name is LaTanya Young, and she's 38 years old. So she's not 18. She's not even 28. She's 38 years old. And she spoke to the Daily Mail about her situation. So they have a strained relationship, and she's working as a DoorDash delivery driver. It's work. But she's also claiming to be sleeping in her car at night. And she says that she has friends and family that will let her come back and forth, for a time. But the majority of the time, she's actually living out of her car. And she says she's reached out to him, but she hasn't seen any money from him in 18 months and that he's just iced her out. Now, she is a daughter from a previous relationship, obviously, because she's 38 years old. And he had her with his ex, Lisa Johnson. So she spoke out about it. And she said that after she spoke out about Dr. Dre in the press, that he cut her off. And he stopped speaking to her because she talked about him in the press. I don't really know exactly what she said about him in the press that pissed him off. But she said that he was paying her an allowance and paying her rent for some time. But in 2020, she said it all stopped and he iced her out. So she hasn't been able to afford much and she can't really pay her bills. So as she's right now working as a DoorDash driver, and she's also doing odd jobs where she, may get $15 an hour working out of a warehouse or something like that, she really is struggling right now. And she says she's right now trying to save her car from being repossessed. And she said she agreed to pay $2,300 to use a car that she's now using for 3 weeks. And she said, and it's quoted, sooner or later they're going to take the car. And she's only moved to California a month ago after having trouble finding a job in Nevada. And so despite Dr. Dre not wanting to talk, she says she won't stop trying to reach him. And she says, my kids are old enough to know who he is. They are in shock. He doesn't want anything to do with them. And he obviously hasn't commented on the matter. I mean, he's definitely living a life that is grand because he is a billionaire reportedly. And it just recently came out maybe less than a week ago that he was ordered to pay his now, well, the divorce isn't final, but I would say ex-wife, Nicole Young, over $300,000 a month in spousal support. And this spousal support is indefinite unless she gets married again or she gets into a domestic partnership. And you already know that's never going to happen. Like, he's going to have to pay that spousal support forever. But to be honest with you, it's really a drop in the bucket when you calculate everything, because in the beginning when it came out how much she was demanding from him for spousal support, it did seem a bit ridiculous. And I believe a lot of the ridiculousness that people were seeing with it was the breakdown of her monthly expenses. But if she maybe had just come out and said, look, he's worth this much, he gets this much per month, so all I'm asking for is about 10% of what he has coming in each month, then I don't really think many people would have questioned it. Now, of course, the people who just are always about, well, he was the one that made the money, he was the one that worked for it, she didn't do any of the work, why does she deserve to get this support that she is requesting? But I mean, honestly, if the tables were turned and the shoe was on the other foot, I would say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander as well. Because hey, I mean, if it was that type of relationship and Dr. Dre was, in the shoes of Nicole Young and she was the one that made it all happen and whatever, and they wound up getting divorced and she had to pay him spousal support, then everybody was going to have something to say about it either way. But I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about it. Do you feel that he owes her anything? I mean, she's 38 years old, and I do believe that at some point, it's like you have to take personal responsibility. And that's the hard part about being a child of privilege, when you are so used to someone taking care of you and you never really had to work for anything. And then if God forbid something happens where maybe the person that was taking care of you lost their life and they didn't have things in place to continue to take care of you, then what do? But you just get used to living that life and, having the lifestyle of which you have become accustomed to, but you didn't work for it and you are an able-bodied adult. Then I don't really think that your parent owes you to continue to take care of you when you are 38 years old. I'm sorry. I don't know all of the dynamics of the relationship and why he chose to stop talking to her and why he doesn't have a relationship with the grandkids. But I'm one of those people, I'm not cold-hearted at all, but I'm just one of those people that feels that I don't believe that statement, family over everything. I believe it's the people you choose to be with in your life over the foolishness, because some people use the family over everything tactic as manipulation, because you will rarely hear somebody say family over everything where it involves, okay, you are my family, I have the means, I have the supply, and I'm going to take care of you whether you like it or not, versus the opposite, where the person who is the family member of somebody who is maybe, affluent, wealthy, worked hard for everything they have, maybe they're famous, maybe they're, a doctor, maybe they just built up businesses and they have become, very well stocked and supplied. And then that person who doesn't have it like that expects that person to help them anytime they need help just because we're family. And I don't buy that. I really don't. You should be able to help those that you choose to help. Now, I think it would be amazing if that person or those people happen to be family. But if you don't have that type of relationship with your family, then I don't believe that all of that goes together. It just is not feasible. But some people believe that, some people stick by that, and people are, free to choose and believe what they want to believe. But I really want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Do you believe that Dr. Dre owes his adult daughter to continue to take care of her, or did he have the right to just cut her off, whether it was for a good reason or not? You let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section. All right, now this story is absolutely insane when you see the headline about it, but Pepa of the group Salt-n-Pepa, and also of right now growing up hip hop, she is facing a nearly $700,000 lien, not for taxes, but from a plastic surgeon who claims that she didn't pay for work that she had done. Now, just first and foremost, it's like $700,000 for plastic surgical procedures. How long has this been going on? How much work did you have done? Like, this is absolutely insane. Now, I know that she's out there on the West Coast, and depending on the region that you get plastic surgery done in, it could be either higher priced or more mid-range, or maybe if you go over to the Dominican or some of these places that may not be that safe to get procedures done at, you may be paying less. But $700,000, that is crazy. But I'm honestly kidding a little bit about that. I just wanted to say, because it's, when you hear $700,000 and plastic surgery, you tend to just think boobs, butts, facial work, that type of stuff. But plastic surgeons, they don't just do those things too. They do corrective procedures. If someone's maybe involved in an accident, there are different procedures that they can do, and sometimes those things may take several procedures to fix things. But I just wanted to bring a little bit of lightheartedness to it, because to hear that amount, it's like, wow. But anyway, it's being reported that her doctor, Dr. David Saya, last December has sued her for negligence, and he's alleged that she sued him, but she's saying that he pressured her to undergo 3 surgeries to treat some injuries that she experienced from a car accident that she had in 2018 when she was in an Uber, which that's crazy, because who wants to be in one of these ride shares and get in a car crash? I know I've been in a few of these Ubers over the years where I was praying, like, God spare my life, keep me, because some of these people, it's like they drive absolutely insane. But not every time you get in a car accident, it is the person behind the wheel's fault. So that's just that. But anyway, I guess she didn't feel that she should have gotten those procedures done, and he was doing it to get the money, so she refused to pay. So now he wants to have a lien filed against her for about $700,000. And so he did. He filed a lien for, to be more exact, $676,675 against her. And this is, right now, I guess she has a lawsuit going on against Uber as well for the car accident. So he said he wants to guarantee that he receives payment if she wins her case. Now, if she doesn't win the case, I don't know what he's going to do. Is he's just going to drop it? I don't know. Maybe he will try to go after her personally. But when you have a situation like this, then usually a doctor will get what's called a letter of protection, which will be on file with the attorney's office. And the attorney's office that is representing that person who was involved in the accident, they will ensure that any settlement or judgment that the person, the injured party, the plaintiff, the client receives, out of before the attorney but if anybody gets any money first, it's going to be the attorney and the law firm. So they get their money off the top. They get their cut, whatever their agreed percentage is, plus any expenses that the law firm has to incur to represent this person. And then after that, anyone who has a letter protection filed with the firm, they will pay that person or those persons or companies out of that. And so honestly, when it comes to a situation like that, they don't usually call it a lien. They usually call it a letter of protection. But I'm thinking maybe it's more so on the range of a lien because Pepa decided to sue the doctor because she didn't feel that the procedures that he did, he should have done those. But she claimed in her lawsuit that the accident made injection she had already received in her hips and butt shift, which made her suffer intense pain. And she said that Dr. Saya first told her to replace the butt implants with smaller ones, but she alleged he also gave her a botched liposuction job, so she had to undergo corrective surgery to fix that. She said that a separate procedure he persuaded her to get caused her butt to get hard, making it difficult for her to perform. Ouch. And the final procedure she had was in February 2020, right before the pandemic. And she says that when he was supposed to take out the injections, she ultimately went to another physician who determined there was a large amount of biopolymer silicone and dead scar tissue remaining after performing an MRI. So the pending status of her lawsuit could explain why she hasn't paid the doctor. But this is a crazy situation. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. It sounds like there could be some claim on each side. So it's like no one's 100% innocent. But the thing about it is, doctors are practicing medicine. They don't have all of the answers. So that's why they have the patients sign these waiver forms, and they pretty much say like, you could literally lose your life and you cannot say that it was our fault because anything can happen. We're hoping and we're making sure every precaution is made to make sure that more than likely does not happen. But things can happen when you get injections. They can, cause things to happen no matter, what part of the body it's in. You can get implants, and the implants may cause some issues in your body, and it can cause scar tissue to build up, and it's not the doctor's fault. Like, those things can happen. It's unfortunate, but you don't really know until you try. And then there are some doctors that are not as well versed with certain types of skin, because African Americans, those with melanin, the skin is different. So there definitely are some surgeons who are not very well versed and experienced with working with African Americans. So this doctor may not have been as experienced working with her, but he was trying. And, maybe he didn't disclose that to her. Maybe he did. I don't know. But you never, get more experience until you get more experience, that sort of thing. So it's like there's a first time for everything. And so maybe this was the first time he worked with an African American woman. Maybe this was the first time he worked with butt implants or, and that type of stuff. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out more as this goes along, because this is an open lawsuit, so I'm quite sure there's more to come. But I really would love to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Again, I'm just being beautifully honest. I'm not trying to make light of it or, joke about it. It just, the headlines of it saying that she owes nearly $700,000 to a plastic surgeon. The way it's being reported, they know that it's definitely clickbaity, because people are going to just automatically think that, okay, she got her butt done, she got her boobs done, she got a new face, she got this and that. She kept going back for more and more and more, and she just racked up the charges, and then she didn't pay the bill. So the way it's being reported, that's the way it's being made to sound. But I hope that she's doing better. It sounds like she's been going through a lot of pain. She was also involved in a car accident. That's never fun. And then when you get injured in a car accident and then you have to get surgical procedures done after the fact, and it sounds like she had 3 of them, that's crazy. So I wish her well. But anyway, I would love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section.